having gotten a contract to play in Portugal. He left last week. The Harbourview team, 2 changes to the team that beat Arnott 1-0 last week. Lennox Russell and Lovell Palmer in for Tariq Jimenez and Ajani Talbot, of course. Talbot going to play 3rd division football in Portugal and looking forward to the opportunity. So Harbourview's defence setup now will be pretty different, but still a solid team here, including Akwasa Chung, number 22, who has scored 6 goals so far this season. 4-1-4-1 is the formation they're going with.
Yeah, it's a formation. I think they're trying to be less penetrative in terms of their open play, and I think that's why he has opted to go with this system today, because it's just too open for his liking, as he said in his interview.
Yeah, the Mount Pleasant starting roster will be exactly the same as the one they used last week to beat Dunbeholden by 5-2, and why would we be surprised? Kimar Beckford on the bench under normal circumstances, not a bench player, Kimar Beckford, but after scoring 14 goals last season to be Mount Pleasant's leading scorer in the aborted season, only 2 goals so far this season, and he has lost his place in the starting roster.
Well, with Keston Holland doing well, 3 goals, and Jordan Fletcher also coming with 3 goals in his last game, well, that would occur, but they're going with the 4-2-3-1 system as well. And
the UWIJFF Captain Horsburgh Centre of Excellence for the first quarter-final, the first of 2 legs of these quarter-final playoffs. Harbourview against Mount Pleasant. And there's Jordan Fletcher in his last days as a 23-year-old. He has a birthday on Thursday.
yeah, and also a lot of his fans are quite happy that he has found his way to full fitness, because that has been his biggest drawback over the years, but they're looking to see the good signs.
Yeah, had a quick look there at Kevin Isaacs as we saw the kickoff. Isaacs scored a thunderous goal for Mount Pleasant in their 5-2 win over Dunbeholden last week.
Very often we see, Lance, a lot of teams you just barely make the playoff, like a Harbourview, and they go on a good run and really upset the rest of the teams. That's quite possible.
Mount Pleasant trying to boss the game early here. Daniel Green fighting hard to keep possession. Harding just shadows and allows the ball to go over the touchline. Odell and Harding.
And it's a feature of this Mount Pleasant team. They like to start quickly and really peg teams back. We see Coach Bernard there just looking on to see if there's anything that he sees about this Mount Pleasant team.
Keslan Hall gets into the box here for Mount Pleasant. His effort, though, under a lot of pressure, is pretty tame to the near post. Well read there by McCalla. Saw the right-sided pass being delivered.
McCalla, we see there, a very utility player for this Mount Pleasant team. Played in the holding midfielder role, played deep at the back, and now he's in the left back position. So it's good to have players like those in your team. They really help you.
Bad pass there by Priestley. Fletcher takes it. Fletcher's pass isn't very good. Palmer gets it easily. Russell turns. Under some pressure, Russell. Good skill there by Krista J. Daly. His pass through looking for Russell, not getting to the mark. And now Priestley has it. Oh, good ball handling skills here by Priestley. And there goes Russell now on the right. Under pressure from McCalla. Doesn't have enough comfort to get a proper shot off. Gareth Stewart just picked up a loose ball there. Maybe should have struck it immediately, but was looking for the room to see the goal clearly.
Yeah, that was what was happening. And Russell, before that, I felt, had the beating of McCalla. So we see a very firm challenge there from Liddale on Krista J. Daly.
Yeah, he came in with studs there, though, Daly. He was stretching for the ball. And I think a foul has been called against him. It's possible that he may have been more damaged in the play than Richie was, but he crept in there with studs.
Yeah, high studs. Richie just protecting himself with the follow through there. But earlier there, Russell for Harbourview, I think he had the beating of McCalla. Just went for the square too early, I felt, and could have taken another touch. You see Mount Pleasant here looking for that searching ball in that channel. looking to exploit, really go direct to try and put this Harbourview defence under pressure there without their captain and leader at the back in Talbot.
It's Harbour getting the ball back there to Kevin Lane, one of two Guyanese in this Mount Pleasant setup. Isaac's a little bit lazy there on losing the ball, but wins it back. May he strike from here? No, he doesn't. The cross doesn't find the target. I almost thought Isaacs would go for the shot there because it was from a similar position that he scored one against Dunbeholden last week. A ferocious right-footed shot into the roof of the net. One corner, Mount Pleasant. Yeah, there's Isaacs, former Manchester High standout in schoolboy football. Was a part of the national setup in the past year and a half or so.
See here the first corner of the game.
Several white shirts from Mount Pleasant in the box looking for scoring opportunities. Here comes the corner. It's taken short though. To the far post it goes, but a little bit overhit.
I think Harbourview will have to be switched on. I've seen Mount Pleasant throughout the season, they have gone for those short corners and looking to change the direction on the ball coming into the box and get runners going in as the defenders move out. So Harbourview will have to be switched on.
Yeah, a bit of a risky pass there out by goalkeeper Chambers. Harbourview looking a little unsettled at the back here early, but here they are now in transition, Harbourview on the attack. Harbour coming back to put pressure on. And, a little bit of uncertainty there from Richie. He was awaiting Akil Clark, the goalkeeper, to come and get it. He thought Clark was a little belated in coming to snatch the ball up and looked as if he was about to lose his temper.
Yes, for sure. He felt he took too long. And he was going to take matters in his own hands, but Clark did show eventually. Good open flow to the game.
Yeah, O'Shane Staple with a clearance out here as McCalla for Mount Pleasant. Goes back to his big captain, Richie. Richie's attempted pass to his former Montego Bay United teammate, Jordan Fletcher, is overhit. Yeah, Richie also a part of the national setup in the past 2 years, not being called up for duties recently to this new look Jamaica outfit. Russell's pass is overhit. Chung has to sprint way over toward the corner flag to try to get to it. Harbourview on their best, they're a good passing team. Daly. Oh, takes the return by Daly! To the near post, Clark makes a good stop. Fine build up by Harbourview. Oh, that looked classy, but it doesn't find the net.
But you spoke about their passing, and that has been crisp when they're in full flow. And I feel that's a feature that Coach Bernardo's work on Daly and Chung early in the season seemed to not be on the same wavelength, but their good sequence of pass between them and resulted in the first shot on goal there.
Lavelle Palmer, Neil, Priestley. Chung tries to go down the left channel, bobbles with the ball a bit, tries to slide the ball through, but the
I think he was
defenders taking care of business.
Was looking for Daly on that occasion, just looking to slip it into that half space.
Krista J. Daly, a young player with immense talent. Krista J. Daly, only 19 years old. And spent some time under the guidance of Dwight Jeremiah, our analyst, who knows him well. And I'm told he plays better when you're in the commentary box. Is there any evidence of that?
Well, I think he plays well all the time, but maybe he puts a little pep in his step, knowing that I'm here, still looking to impress. I mean, he's still owned by Allen United. He's on loan to Harbourview.
Yeah, quality player. Good sequence of passing there from Harbourview. So Mount Pleasant will try to respond now. Here's Harvey. Under pressure. Stands his ground really well, Harbourview. Harbourview trying to go forward. No, they've lost it. Isaacs under pressure. Fouled by Daly. Free kick to Mount Pleasant from distance. And maybe Isaacs may want to strike this one himself.
Yes, he had a chance earlier that you felt he would have put the boot through it, but now he'll have an opportunity under no pressure when he spots this one as Daly just reaching in from behind and the judge to have committed the infringement. But what we've seen from Harbourview, a little bit more engaging. Yes, they're committing the fouls, but I think they're trying to stop these passes penetrating their lines.
Yeah, Harvey struck one set play last week that ended up in a goal. The post and the goalkeeper then in, rated an own goal, but Harvey strikes them well. And he'll remember that strike last week as he prepares to strike this one now.
Yeah, Chambers will have to be ready.
Disappointing strike straight into the wall. Richie on the half line for Mount Pleasant. Green. Neil with a recovery challenge. Gives up a corner though, so second corner for Mount Pleasant.
I think that pass into that defensive third for Harbourview is what Coach Bernard will have to have his charges prevent. Just too easy for on that occasion for Mount Pleasant to really break two lines. You're gonna have to put pressure on the ball.
Fletcher's curling corner kick met by Staple. And that's a foul. Isaacs crashing into the Harbourview man. I think it was Harding. There goes Lennox Russell. Chung is in support. Daly. Harbourview on the attack. A strike on goal. Right on the target. Harbourview looking promising in their build-ups.
I think one of the things that we have to keep our eyes on, Lance, is McCullough, Russell. It seems to be a situation where Harbourview has identified that Russell may have the better of him, and I think it's the third occasion we've seen Russell here getting some joy. That might be a route for Harbourview to get in behind the lines. Coach Bernard seeing good signs, but still not pleased. Seeing barking instructions still.
Yeah, Ronaldo Robinson there with the effort. Only 20 years old. A lot of youngsters in this Harbourview setup. Staples' header goes behind him and gives up a throw a little deeper in the Harbourview half than he would have wanted. McCullough. Green wants it. Fletcher. McCullough. Harvey. Richie. Most of the Mount Pleasant build-up so far we've seen have come from that right flank. And now the Mount Pleasant team pressing. Lane. Great turn by Green. A former Harbourview man, Green. He was on the Harbourview books 4 seasons or so ago. And here he is for Mount Pleasant.
He's a good player too. He can create stuff.
Fletcher.
Lively player still.
Yeah. Isaacs under some pressure. Harbourview trying to press here. And Richie is as cool a central defender as you'll get in Premier League football. Big, strong, and plays with a lot of authority. Those are the reasons why he was called up by Winfred Schaefer to the national setup. And Schaefer, the German, had been coach. Harbourview really pressing these Mount Pleasant men at the back and not really allowing them too much comfort in their half.
We spoke about Richie being commanding. A lot of times we see Akwasa Chung, he takes up residence closer to Lane as he feels he could get more joy out of him. So often we see attackers, they pick their man that they want to be up against.
McCullough's cross inside is threatening, but Palmer gets in the way. There's Lovell Palmer, 37 years old now, Lovell Palmer. played several years of Major League Soccer in the USA with the Chicago Fire. He also spent some time at Houston Dynamo and had a short stint in Trinidad and Tobago as well with David John Williams' W Connection. Oh, delightful ball attempted there by Lane through to Hall, but well read by Palmer.
You spoke about Palmer and all his travels and all that experience came to fore, and he's probably the reason Harbour are here with that free kick in the last outing.
Isaacs fouls Russell. Russell up on his feet again. Gets a start here, Lennox Russell. Former championship winning player with Arnett Gardens back in the 2016-2017 season. Mount Pleasant, 73% ball domination at the moment. Wow, that's as dominant as you'll get here in a playoff game.
But you feel with the dominance, Harbour have had the better look-in so far.
Yeah, they have pierced the Mount Pleasant defense line a couple of times in a way that we haven't seen Mount Pleasant pierce theirs.
Yeah, and that was all down to some combination play, good one-touch passing, good triangle, small triangle in that area. That's the way you beat it.
Richie. Pass attempted there for Keston Hall, didn't quite get to him. Chambers in goal for Harbourview, read it well. The sun is not with us at the moment, which I think the players will appreciate because it's really, really hot. Here's Russell retrieving on the right flank. Chung is there in support to his right, but he dribbles to the middle. Daly trying to pick up that pass left-footed, but the ball just squirted off his boot to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, if he could have gotten that under his spell, he would have been looking straight in the eyes of Clark. Just had to stretch her.
Akil Clark, the Mount Pleasant goalkeeper, the 32-year-old Guyanese, spent a lot of time playing his semi-pro football in Trinidad and Tobago with St. Anne's Rangers and Central FC along with the Northeast Stars. Also played World Cup qualifying for Guyana in the CONCACAF prelims against Puerto Rico St. Kitts in the Bahamas earlier on this year. Akil Clark, one of two Guyanese in the Mount Pleasant starting roster. There he is. Very, very solid goalkeeper. In front of him, central defender Kevin Lane. Lane also a Guyanese international. A lot younger, 23 years old. Russell being held on to by McCullough. Yeah, and Stephen Dwar, the referee, gets into his police mode. He's a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and he's pretty firm there on Lennox Russell.
Yeah, large and in charge. But I don't feel Russell needs to lash out, as we see.
That's Kevin Lane, the other Guyanese in the setup. 23 years old, Kevin Lane. Played previously for New Amsterdam and the Ghana Defence Force in the Guyanese Premier League, and enjoying his stint here now in Jamaica.
So two very experienced and travelled campaigners at the back of it. You're going to have to do well there, youngsters.
Russell right across there, and Ronaldo Robinson just trying to get the dummy going there towards Daly. Long range effort there from Neil.
And that has been said about Neil also, not only in his open play where they're saying he didn't need to do that, also in his defensive play, sometimes a bit too rash, get a bit excited. He's telling them to calm down, but they want him to calm down because they have been doing well. Mount Pleasant would be pleased with shots from Harbourview from such distance. So Neil just needs to calm himself down. Play within the style for this Harbourview team.
Yeah. Harding with a throw. Began his Premier League life, Odell and Harding, with Sandals FC. And they played briefly in the Premier League, just one season before being relegated. Leonardo Rankin, who is now in Premier League football himself, also played with Sandals FC. There goes Campbell, very speedy little man on the left. His cross dangerous. Neil gets the vital header on. That ball was heading straight for Kesselin Hall.
It was, and we know Hall, he can score with his head. We've seen him score already this season off of his head, and it was Staple who allowed them to come in.
Quick transition here for Harbour View. Yeah, I thought Daly should have gone forward with that. Robinson not able to hold it. There's Luddy Bernard trying to become the 5th man to lead Harbour View to the Premier League title as a coach. All of their 4 titles before were won by different coaches. Peter Cargill in 2000, Lenny Hyde 2007. Vin Blaine was their 2010 champion coach. Donovan Hales led them to the title in 2013. As Hall tries to get the cross inside, and Lovell Palmer was angry.
He's won his case. He is saying it was a bad kick. The lines, the assistant referee was saying a corner, but the referee has overruled and has given Palmer his wish.
Yeah, Lovell Palmer, the brother of former world sprint hurdles champion Bridget Foster Hilton. Here's the play again. Yeah.
Looks to roll off the upper body of
Hall before it went over the touchline.
Yeah, but we're seeing also another duel that is interesting to see. Staple seemingly having problems with Devante Campbell. I mean, 2 or 3 times now we've seen him, Campbell getting the better of him. So Staple would be advised to just stay in his defensive zone more and not give up the space in behind. Probably picks up the ball and look to feed Russell down the line, who's getting the better of McCullough. Yeah. So that's something interesting for these players to work out.
Yeah, Campbell, very speedy teenager, Devante Campbell. Significant that at just 17 years old, he has actually made 8 appearances already for this Mount Pleasant team. So obviously he's very highly thought of in the Mount Pleasant coaching staff, because this is a very solid roster, Mount Pleasant. And if he gets 8 appearances in the 10-game regular season at 17 years old, it's very obvious that Wally Downs and the coaching staff at Mount Pleasant are very impressed with his skills.
Yeah, he came on in a game himself on green and really turned it on for Mount Pleasant. Wasn't getting much movement from Swaby and Beckford on the day, and the coach Downs in his post-match interview did say that he got a lot more movements from them, a lot more penetration.
Robinson for Harbour View. Daly strikes it well. Akil Clark with the tip over corner. Oh, that was classy stuff from the 19-year-old.
Yeah, I think good turn there. Once it opened up for him, he went with that left foot. And I think that's what Coach Bernard was lamenting with him earlier. Take the initiative, go forward. You're playing in that creative role. Go for it. And Clark had to tip it over. I wasn't sure it was going to dip under the bar, but he couldn't be certain of that. So he had to make sure. And Daly has had 2 strikes now on goal. And Clark have had to make saves for both of them.
Yeah. Only Akwasa Chung has scored more goals for this Harbour View team this season than this young man, Krista J. Daly.
Seemed to find his foot in the centre of the park.
Rushes to the near post for the corner. Isaacs gets in the way. Harding. Russell's cross low. Hall with the clearance. Akil Clark in goal for Mount Pleasant. Very vocal there. Keeper.
I think
his defenders knew that they should have left it for him.
More assertive. I think what Ladale Ritchie said to him earlier is certainly resonate with him, because he's now been more assertive.
Yeah. McCullough climbs onto the shoulder of Chung there. Krista J. Daly. Oh, what good skill and balance from the little man. Oh, he's having a top game. But now he tries to do too much and loses it.
He just lost his foot in there.
Yeah, this looks like a wrestling match now.
Yeah, he's been really consistent daily for Harbour View since coming in on loan from Holland. He's a good ball handler, good technical player, and the 17 representative for Jamaica. So have an international goal when they played against Trinidad and Tobago in a World Cup qualifier in 2017. So yeah, good technical player.
Daniel Green there winning the foul, winning the free kick from the foul. Ritchie goes wide to Liston James. James under a lot of pressure here. Slides the ball forward to Jordine Fletcher's cross inside. Right across the box, with force. And I don't think Hull had any chance of getting to that one as we head into the water break. So a quarter of the match is completed of the first leg of this playoff quarterfinal. Very, very entertaining stuff. We saw from a statistical standpoint, Dwight, Mount Pleasant bossing the game based on how much time they had on the ball. But certainly the best moments of the match here from a goal attempting standpoint have come from the Harbourview men.
Yeah, possession is always a good thing, and you'd like to have that, but for sure it's what you do with the possession, and Harbourview with their limited possession have been more telling in the final third, have been causing more problems for Mount Pleasant. And Daly, as we see on screen there, has been at the center of it all. 2 shots on goal, bringing out 2 saves from Clark, one of them just regulatory, but the other one just tipping over the bar. So it's a good game to watch, really good watch here. And I think there's goal in it. There's definitely goal in it based on what we've seen. I'd be surprised if this one ends without a goal.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant have been a very, very solid team since they entered the Premier League for the 2018-29 season. Their very first season, they went all the way through to the semi-finals before they were eliminated by eventual champions Portmore. The season after that, last year, which was aborted, they were actually number 2 in the standings behind Waterhouse when the season was aborted. And now this year, they're number 3 in the regular season and taking aim at the championship.
Yeah, they're looking to do so. Just a point behind Waterhouse last time when it was aborted. But yeah, it's a good outfit. A lot has gone into this program at Mount Pleasant. So good quality, good experienced players. So I expect them to do well. But Harbourview remains a dangerous customer.
Yeah, Akil Clark, there's the Mount Pleasant goalkeeper, who has been the busier of the 2 goalkeepers so far, which emphasizes the fact that Harbourview have been a little bit more threatening here on goal. There's Akwasa Chung. Hasn't been as much in the game as many would have expected. 6 goals so far this season, the leading scorer in the championship at only 20 years old. And he has really been a very, very impactful player this season for Harbourview.
Very much so. He's a talisman when it comes on to goal. Not much of him, yes, but that first opportunity created and shot on goal from Daly, it was link-up play with him, playing a 1-2 with Daly to break the defensive line for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
So, and players like those, they don't need the entire game to be showing up, you know, just a moment of brilliance and they stitch the back of the net, as we say.
Yeah, started the season brilliantly. There's Krista J. Daly. Harvey putting the chase on. Determination there from Alwyn Harvey. He knew that he couldn't allow the 19-year-old to get going. Staple does well with the header back. Yeah, Kwasa Chung started the season like a house on fire. Didn't need Dwight. Scored in the first 4 games for Harbourview. Against good teams as well. Waterhouse, Cavalier, Mount Pleasant. And then against Dunbeholden. So he was scoring goals against quality teams.
Yeah, he was, and even when it was a pressure situation, Harbourview needing to win their last 2 games, he scored in one of those games. Good header to give them the victory. So you can't speak too highly of what Chung has done this season, and I think he's not finished yet. And we're seeing some ominous sign as we see injury here to
I think it's
Harvey.
Harvey. Yeah, Harvey. It is Harvey.
Yeah, so just seemed to have grazed his elbow to get that. Shouldn't be out for too long, but we've seen ominous sign between Daly and Chung looking to be on the same wavelength now, and that's good for Harbourview. And Russell, if he can team up with them, and we see Ronaldo Robinson out there as well, have enough attacking impetus, you feel, Harbourview, to be able to worry Mount Pleasant, but Mount Pleasant equally have enough players going the other way.
Drop ball. Lovell Palmer. Garth Stewart. Priestley. Robinson, Priestley, Stewart exchanging passes for Harbourview. Now Palmer. Russell. Chung's first touch not as good as it needed to be. Russell tries to get by McCullough. McCullough prevents him from doing so. He was a little bit robust and put his body firmly in the way. Russell didn't like the challenge, looking to the referee for some sympathy, but doesn't get it. This man is big and strong, McCullough.
I think McCullough is determined, because Russell has had the better of him on 3 previous occasions, was doing everything this time to use his entire frame to prevent him from going. I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Clark. Richie. Yeah, These Harbourview front men are really pressing forward. They're not allowing the Harbourview backline to have too much comfort and composure on the ball.
I'm not surprised by that, Lance, because as I've lamented on numerous occasions, it's been the weakness of Harbourview, just too easy to penetrate, and the front players weren't putting enough pressure, and they were defending too deep or engaging in their defensive place too deep, and so when they made errors, it was costly.
Good skill by Green. A lot of times players are pumped up when they come up against a former club, and maybe those are the feelings Green is having at the moment as a man that had been on the Harbourview books at one point.
Yeah, you always get that. They always feel like they have to prove something, you know, try and get one over on their former employers. But you know, he's naturally a good player, so if he's bumped up, it's even more worrying for Harbourview, and they're going to have to keep him on the wraps as much as possible.
Daly. Good dribbling skills, Daly. Sends Staple going on the right. Staple's cross blocked by McCalla. Good composure by Palmer. Taking it on the chest and just shielding it away from the challenging Keston Hall. Stewart doesn't have too many passing options at the moment because the Mount Pleasant men are marking up well. Russell, Stewart. Daly. McCalla reads it well. There's Robinson. Has pace, but loses the ball here to Isaacs. The speedy Campbell goes forward now with the ball. Campbell gets into the box. Still Campbell. Left-footed Campbell, what a goal! Oh, the 17-year-old puts Mount Pleasant in front, and that was unstoppable. Close to Chambers in goal, but I would have to say that was like a bullet from his left foot. And Mount Pleasant are in front by 1-0 as they tried to get their first win over Harbourview since February 2019.
Yeah, it was a good break for Mount Pleasant, and there was no Staple in sight. A vacant spot in this right back area for Harbourview, and once it went down there, Ronaldo Robinson lost it. And once that occurred, it was the channel opened up, and that ball played into Campbell. And I think Palmer here not looking to engage, not wanting him to go across the box to Hall that was waiting, trusting his goalkeeper to take care of things off the near post. And you felt the goalkeeper should handle that one, but as you said, Lance, there was a lot of power behind that strike, but I still think that they're always going to say goalkeeper Chambers should have done better.
Yeah, tough on goalkeepers because it was his near post, and you can say that he should have stopped it, but that was hit with immense power. And only Chambers knows how hard that was kicked, and maybe Devante Clark himself in the 30th minute.
Yeah, and I felt maybe if there was some communication to Palmer that they had all covered, that he could have engaged. It needed some engaging there, and Palmer needed to make the decision at that stage what was more dangerous, and he decided to allow Campbell, and to Harbourview's detriment.
Well, this is what Wally Down said he wanted, wasn't he, in the pre-match talk you had with him, Dwight Jeremiah, that he would really like to get a lead here, maybe by 2-0, so he can go into the second leg with some degree of comfort as he seeks a spot in the semi-final, which wouldn't be for the first time. They had qualified for the semis 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, he's looking to get an advantage, but he was wary that in the 80th minute for those times, things could really go astray, so they have to be switched on, he did say. So they would want a cushion here.
Harvey. Isaacs. He wants to go to the goal scorer again. Yes, he does. Devonte Campbell. Still Campbell. Goes for goal, right-footed this time. And the little man is so confident now that he tries to go for goal at 23 yards out from a left-sided cut-in.
Yeah, and even you'd say again it was at Chambers near post, looking to catch him out again. Chambers showing a lot of interest in that strike, although it was well wide of his upright. But having been beaten by it, was not going to take any chance.
Kind of puts a lot of pressure here on Russell. Russell thinks he was fouled again, appeals to the referee, but again gets no sympathy. Reed showing good skill, but the Harbourview men know his ball handling skills, and they're marking him tightly. McCalla. Richie. Liston James. Richie comes in with a challenge there, and says he may have hurt himself there. There's Devante Campbell was right-sided last week when they played, but enjoying himself now with left-sided play.
Yeah, just the youngster showing his versatility. As we see the strike here, we see Palmer just delaying to engage him, but it needed a communication from young Gerald Neal to suggest that he could go ahead and engage, because he was right in the path, the passing lane for Campbell to find Hall. That communication never came. Palmer didn't engage, but the net was bulged by Campbell. So a very good player for Mount Pleasant himself and Green. Two players that I really like to see on the ball. They're very lively. They're very confident as well as youngsters. And I think those are the things that I think Coach Bernard is trying to instill with Daly, wanting him to take it up, wanting him to take on the responsibility to drive at the defense line. In that defensive third, that's where you take most risk, and he needs to do that more often, Daly.
I'm wondering where Ludlow Bernard got that water bottle from. It's purple.
Need you wonder?
Long-standing Kingston College coach. The purples from North Street. Purple Paul. Although his most successes in schoolboy football have come, I think, with Wilmers. He scored, I think, 2 Walker Cup titles with Wilmers before he had won with Kingston College. Staple, Stewart, Harbourview now playing the catch-up game against a Mount Pleasant team that head-to-head they've been very, very good against. 7 meetings before now between these two teams, 4 Harbourview wins, 2 Mount Pleasant wins, and 1 drawn result. And those 2 Mount Pleasant wins had come in the very first season that Mount Pleasant had in Premier League football, 2018-2019. Since then, no more for them. I want to say as well that their 5-2 win last week over Dunbeholden was a very significant score for this Mount Pleasant team. With 13 goals in the regular season, they're among the lower scoring teams of those making the playoffs. They've only outscored Harbourview and Veer as offensively successful teams, and we have to remember that there was a 5-goal game against Dunbeholden, so it's not a team, Mount Pleasant, that scores generally a lot of goals. Krista J. Daly with a ball, slides the ball forward to Russell, but again, McCalla puts pressure on Russell. And again, Russell is looking to the assistant referee for some assistance. He's having a tough time with this big, strong McCalla today. Yeah,
McCalla has made the adjustment to his game and just not giving Russell the room he had done before. Just staying a little bit more in his defensive zone once Harbourview is in possession. Early on, as we said, Russell had the better of him, but not doing so right now. Harbourview, as you said, Lance chasing the game. They are not strangers to having to chase games. I think their first 2 games of the season, they had to come from behind against Cavalier and Waterhouse to earn a point in those 2 games. They tried the same thing against Veer, but they came up short, a 3-2 loss. So they have done so this season, and will have to do so today again if they're to get a favourable result.
Yeah. Pleasant leading by 1-0 on the Devante Campbell goal in the 30th minute. The 17-year-old on target for the St. Anne team. Their 5-2 victory over Dunbeholden last weekend. The highest scoring win they've ever had in Premier League football, this Mount Pleasant team. Did score some big wins in late 2019. 4-0 over Tivoli in November 2019. And 4-1 over Malines in December 2019, but never 5 goals in a match, Mount Pleasant. And they knocked in 5 last weekend, 2 of them to Jordan Fletcher.
Yeah, he's finding form at the right time for them. So much so that he's keeping out the likes of Beckford.
Yeah, a bit of a scuffle going on here now, and referee Dwar is being as firm as he can to try to keep the tempers from flaring, which started off just now with Kwasa Chung feeling that he was savagely challenged from behind and reacted.
I think he reacted too because he didn't get a call from the referee at the time earlier. They're just trying to regain control or maintain his control of this fixture. It's been a good one so far.
Dwar, the referee wants the kick retaken. Kasim Priestley standing over it. Just over 6 minutes plus time added on for stoppages to the halftime break. Robinson to Chung. Still Chung. Bundled off the ball by Harvey. Screams out in pain. Oh, Hall seems to be getting away here, but Lovell Palmer recovers well enough.
Yeah, for a moment there, I think he misread the trajectory of that one, and I thought he had the beating off him.
Yeah.
But good recovery from Palmer.
Gerald Neal goes wide to Harding. There goes Chung, trying to get by Liston James. Still Chung with the ball. His cross threatening. Here comes Russell. First touch not as good as it needed to be, but McCalla putting pressure on Russell. Harvey now wins it. Aiming for the goal scorer Devante Campbell, but the ball played a little too straight and right into the path of Lovell Palmer, who takes it well.
Yeah, Russell needed a crisper touch on that Harbour view attack.
Delightful long pass there from Stewart to Chung. Can Chung pull something back here for Harbourview to the near post? Oh, no one got to it. Almost a risk there of a Mount Pleasant player knocking it into his own goal.
Yeah, I think the closest player to it at the time was Ronaldo Robinson. Just couldn't get a stud on it. You felt that he gotten a stud on that one.
Yeah.
You see his taper here, judged to have been too forceful on his challenge, but we see a ball fizzed across the box from Chung. Just got the beat in there, and it was too quick for Ronaldo Robinson.
Yeah, he didn't get there, but because the ball was hit with so much power, there was that risk for one of the defenders to inadvertently, you know, deflect the ball into his own goal for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah,
but luckily for them, that didn't happen.
It was one of the worst balls to defend as a defender with your face to goal with that pace on it.
Isaacs. Wide here to Fletcher. Fletcher may want to put this on his left and strike it. He does so now, but doesn't have the room to get the shot off. Here comes Harvey! But it's high into the trees behind the goal.
Yeah, I think just enough pressure from Stewart. And I think it took a deflection off Stewart as well. So it is a corner kick there.
Mount Pleasant looking very promising here in this game. Yeah, Fletcher didn't have the room to get his shot off. Yeah, maybe just the ball glancing off the body of a Harbourview man there. May have been Priestley who tried to make the effort. With Harbour trying to fire that one on goal.
You see goalkeeper Tafari.
Yeah, there's the Clark. Yeah, the problem with the artificial surface here and the extreme heat of the surface itself on the boots of these players, and so often, especially the goalkeepers who are not as mobile and are pretty much standing on the hot surface.
The colour doesn't help either, being black. Yeah. Looking at that dark colour, that will intensify the effect.
Yeah, so it's a new interruption here to Premier League football in Jamaica, putting ice cold water on the players' boots because of the artificial surface and the heat it generates. Less than 3 minutes to the halftime break, plus time to be added on for stoppages, and it's Mount Pleasant here with the 1-0 advantage over Harbourview. And last time they got to the semi-finals, this Mount Pleasant team, 2018-2019, they were beaten by Portmore on aggregate. They're trying to get there again now. Corner to the far post. Chambers has the easy take in the Harbourview goal. But this has been an entertaining half so far. Both teams have played well, but it's Mount Pleasant with the lead. Daly, who has done well so far in this half, sprays a wayward pass upfield.
He was looking for Acosta to make that run, but Acosta had already checked in once he had swiveled. And he just turned and played it into a vacant area. The Harbourview, you know, you feel would just want to, at worst, just go into the break.
Yeah.
At worst, with just a goal down, wouldn't want to concede. If anything, they would want to just go in level. They have to be mindful not to overextend here and give up a goal.
Yeah, I think these Harbourview frontmen are playing with instructions here to be as forceful and as nagging and as persistent on the Mount Pleasant backline as possible. Look at the energy and determination that we're seeing there from Ronaldo Robinson to put pressure on Ladale Ritchie
and bring him to the turf. Yeah, I think it's
and the difference in size as well. I think Ritchie's at least 30 pounds heavier than Robinson is. Oh, good skill there by the Harbourview number 8, Lennox Russell, but then he lost it. Liston James under pressure from Chung, but gets away from him. Keston Hall. Green coming into the middle, but the pass too close to the goalkeeper Chambers, who holds it well. And Harbourview in transition now. Sometimes their breaks from their defence upfield can be pretty swift, Harbourview, but this one is more measured. Chung on the left. Harvey puts pressure on. Still Chung. Still Chung.
He had options left and right of him. There was Stewart and I think Priestley there, and he should have just laid it off and moved closer to goal.
Yeah.
That's not where he wants to do the bulk of his work. Yeah. For sure.
I remember Wally Downs telling you pre-match that when he gets the ball, he's focused on going for goal, and he doesn't invite too many other players into the play. His mind is fixed on putting himself into a scoring position and shooting, and I think that was evidence there.
Yeah, but he has to learn which areas of the park that he needs to do that. And that's a skill that he's going to have to develop, because so far away from goal, you just want to play the one touch, not expound too much energy. And as you get closer to the goal, that's when you want to explode.
4 minutes added on for stoppages here. Mount Pleasant on a Devonte Campbell goal in the 30th minute, leading by 1-0, and some pressure here on the Harbourview team at the moment.
But I think they from their coaching staff as well, some composure and calmness needs to be shown. Just need to ensure that they don't allow themselves to be cut open again. This is not a one-legged encounter. It's over 2 legs, and so they're well and truly still in it.
Yeah. And
you feel they just need to be composed. They have enough attacking threat to be able to get back into this game. As we can see, players, this is McCullough here, looking to change his footwear. Showing a lot of grimace on his face.
Yeah, Harbour had started the season well, then they stuttered middle of the regular season. They had gone their first 4 games undefeated, 2 draws and 2 victories, but then they went 4 games without a win, including 3 losses. Losing 3-2 to Vera, drawing 1-1 with Portmore, losing 3-1 to Tivoli, losing 2-0 to Humberland, who were the worst team in the league. But then luckily for Harbourview, their final matches were against Malines and Arnett Garns, who were 2 of the weaker teams in the league, and they got 2 wins there and squeezed into these playoffs.
Yeah, it's their second set of back-to-back wins they've had in the season, those last 2 wins. So they need to go on a decent run here if they're going to go deep.
Priestley, free kick for Harbourview, threatening. Russell, right across the box. And that was Lovell Palmer going to the near post, and a sliding save there from Ladale Ritchie, who does it for his team. Was it Ritchie or Lane? Kevin Lane, the Ghanese, on the near post, just spreading himself there and denying Lovell Palmer his 2nd goal of the season.
It was an audacious flick from Robinson, and that first shot, as we see the ball coming in, Robinson flicking on, I think, to Russell. Russell saved by Clark there, and I thought the net would have bulged, but you felt had it gotten past Lane, it wouldn't get past Ritchie.
I think Evan Ritchie there, both of them went for the stop on the near post. The header out. And there goes Isaacs. Gives Fletcher a bit of a chase here. Fletcher keeps with the ball. Campbell not exactly sure where to position himself. And that wasn't a good effort there from Jordan Fletcher.
Yeah.
He just crashed the ball into the side netting. To be fair, there weren't many options in the middle apart from young Campbell, but he may have been better served holding that ball up and just waiting for some support. Daly. Chung. Preston James presents himself to challenge Chung, but Chung slides the ball inside to Robinson, but the return pass doesn't work here for Harbour. And now Mount Pleasant are in transition. That's Fletcher, I think, is down hurt for Mount Pleasant. In the meantime, Campbell has switched over to the right side and Fletcher is now on the left, but Fletcher is in some pain and I don't think the referee has seen him. Well, he sees him now.
I think that's a wasted opportunity there for Harbourview. Chung just showed too much of the ball. Fletcher was on the turf. They had a man advantage on that occasion. Just needed to keep the ball in play because the referee didn't deem it was necessary to stop the play. And Harbourview didn't capitalize on that. But the sequence of play that we saw from that free kick for Harbourview is enough to suggest to the technical team that there is always a chance in them to score a goal. We see Fletcher limping off, some discomfort to his foot, but nothing that we think that would keep him off. Coach Downs there would be pleased with his team's first half, but it's not an easy day for him.
Yeah.
Coach Bernard too feeling the heat from both the elements and the game.
Yeah. Coach Downs for Mount Pleasant, being from Britain, a lot of these British tourists come to the Caribbean and enjoy the sunshine, but I would suggest that this is more than sunshine for Wally Downs. It's really, really steaming hot out there.
It is for sure. I think it would be the heat of the sun would be tempered somewhat by the fact that his team is leading this contest by 1-0.
Yeah. You know, I would suspect that this Mount Pleasant project is a work in progress. The team owner Peter Gold would have recognized when he started this club back in 2016, heavily investing financially in the project, would have to be patient with getting results, and to be honest, they have fast-tracked into the top flight and have had more success than you could imagine for a team that is just so new. You know, reaching the semi-finals in their first season of the Premier League and only their 3rd year in existence. So far the project has been pretty promising. Robinson, Staple, several players on the back post here. Clark goes up and takes it easily in goal. The Guyanese making sure that none of the Harbourview men get into the play.
That cross was just too close to Clark from Staple, and nothing came off that.
Yeah, the halftime whistle coming from referee Stephen Duar. And the number 7, Devante Campbell from Mount Pleasant, is the man of the moment here, as he has his team leading by 1-0 in this first quarter-final playoff in the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel.
Staple proven to be the weak link. He was caught high up the pitch when that goal was scored by Campbell.
Gaston Hall with a kick-off and immediately finds himself challenging for the ball close to the byline. Puts pressure there on Lavelle Palmer. And there's Palmer. Neal for Harbourview with possession. Chung wants the ball down the left channel. He doesn't get the delivery he wanted. And Liston James tracking back for Mount Pleasant, just watches as the ball goes behind or over the touchline for a throw from Mount Pleasant deep inside their own half. Campbell under some pressure here. Harding. Priestley to Neal to Palmer. Harbourview pushing the ball around. Had some very threatening moments early in this game, Harbourview. Yeah, Palmer was about to play the ball. Chung was beginning to move inside. Both things happening at the same time, so the result was that the ball went high over Chung's head.
It's the second time we've seen that. One was with Daly in the first half, where Chung was checking back when they would have anticipated him going forward.
Oh, there goes Campbell. He's now on the right side of the field, scored from the left side in the first half. Oh, delightful ball played in here to Green. Green gets a very, very solid challenge from Lovell Palmer, who gives up a corner. But it was a vital challenge because the cross was just about to be delivered and Kesson Hall was on the far post waiting for it.
And whether or not we've seen, as we see Harbourview prepare for this corner kick, have to be switched on. Like I say, they cannot afford to go down 2 goals too early in the second half. But you would expect Mount Pleasant to be pushing for it, and you feel Harbourview should be ready for it. Again, the short corner.
Campbell under some pressure here. Ball taken away from him by Krista J. Daly. Mount Pleasant though regaining possession. Oh, Fletcher turns Neal very skillfully. Neal fouls him just maybe 1.5 yards outside the 18-yard box. Oh, good skill there by Fletcher.
Yeah, and that's the part of Neal's game that they say as a youngster to develop. Just a little rash at times. Just diving in there. Didn't get into his defensive stance early and decide where he wanted Fletcher to go. In the end, just diving in.
Fletcher, a quality player who's yet to unlock his real potential as a senior, having had a tremendous schoolboy campaign for Cornwall College. 30+ goals as the Costa Cup champions, and also Golden Boot winner in the Super Cup 2016. And he may want to strike this one here based on where the ball is. His left-footed strike may be the option here as opposed to a right-footed strike from Green.
When if Green goes for it, you think he's going to look to tee up Hall on the others in the box. Harvey, if it's a direct kick on goal, then Fletcher.
Here's Fletcher, left-footed straight towards the goal, and Chambers is right there to take it.
Well positioned was Chambers. And indeed made it look simple.
Really impressed with Krista J. Daly in the midfield here for Harbourview today.
He's really shown good glimpses or good signs of his good technical play.
Russell for Harbourview. Stewart, ball stolen from him by Green, but Harbourview recovering. And now we've got Harding with the ball on the left side. Still Harding. Priestley. Stewart may want to strike it from here. He does, but Lane gets in the way. Good strike on goal from Priestley, left-footed, but Clark in goal for Mount Pleasant was well positioned.
Yeah, Priestley's the type of player that does not need an invitation to shoot. He shoots at a whim.
Chung hasn't gotten close enough to the goal so far in this game. Chung to be that threatening. He's tripped from behind. They know how dangerous this 20-year-old is, and they have stopped him in his tracks about 30 yards out.
But he's also dangerous from free kicks as well. So the danger not yet gone, and we did see Lovell Palmer in their last game strike one from distance as well. But good drive-in run there, good penetrative run, and I think that's what you want to see more from these Harbourview front men. And we saw Stewart here shot charge down, and there is Priestley, as we said, doesn't really need an invitation to shoot.
Yeah.
Saw him shooting in a game, and the rebound was picked up by Daly. A good volley he scored, so he knows that when he has a strike on goal there, spills that can be taken advantage of by his team.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to strike this year. I would think Chung maybe. He's the confident man with 6 goals already this season and the leading scorer in the Jamaica Premier League, Okwasa Chong. But Lovell Palmer has also scored from set plays, also harboring thoughts of striking as well.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be himself or Palmer. Palmer could be the man, having scored in the last game. But enough diversion here for goalkeeper Clark to think about as to who will strike it.
Yeah. Chong left-footed over the top. Harbour tried to be cheeky there. I think they wanted the Mount Pleasant men to think that Odell Harding was going to strike it. Harding appeared to be teeing it up. He stepped away and Chong struck it, but over the top. So his goal tally for the season stays at 6. Leading scorer still.
But how would Harbourview really do with one of his goals at this moment?
Stewart. Priestley. Foul on Chong, so you know, the Mount Pleasant men respect this young man to the extent that they are willing to give up fouls just to stop him. Ronaldo Robinson coming off for Harbourview.
He really did a lot of his work through the middle, I think, and Chong on the wider areas. I think Tevin Scott, the player coming on, he has a goal to his name this season as well. I think Ronaldo Robinson might have been better served playing wide. Chong through the middle.
Priestley, really good challenge here from Priestley on James. Priestley is hurt though as he went for the challenge. The referee's whistle has gone. I think he's given a free kick against James for the challenge he had there on Priestley, who is in enough pain that it triggers a call from referee Duar.
Yeah, I think he got a bit of the player's boot as well, and that's why he's having the discomfort. Got a fair bit of the ball, but I think just maybe a little bit of the studs, and that's why he's having that type of discomfort.
He has played really solidly at central defence here for Harbourview. Kasim Priestley, a very good defender, good reader of the game. His ball handling skills above average, and he'll be on the sidelines just recuperating a bit.
Harbourview just looking to steal a little yard on this throw-in.
Yeah, Stefan Duar has had his moments of being really firm here in this fixture because it's a playoff match and the regular season is over. It's a winner or go home now, although they have 2 legs to do it. Hall getting onto the pass. Keston Hall with the ball. Yeah, right into the goal. 4th goal of the season for Keston Hall. And Harbourview are sinking into deeper trouble here. 2-0 winners of Mount Pleasant in the regular season, but now when it matters most in the playoff, it's Mount Pleasant 2, Harbourview 0.
A problem here for Harbourview. There was no pressure on the ball and the defence line was stepping up. And that's something that is basic. Once there's no pressure on the ball and you cannot advance that high, and that one ball over the top had them turning around and chasing. Here we see it. And that ball over the top, Gerald Neal caught out just too high. And once Hall was in, he knew he was going to be difficult for Chambers to keep him out. Just over the top there, Neal, always second best for this one. And you felt though that Chambers might have had a firmer hand to it, but maybe from close range there was so much that Hall could have done, and in his anticipation probably was late when Hall finally made his mind up. But again, a defensive problem there for Harbourview. 4 goals this season for Hall, and we did mention him in the pre-game that he's one of the dangerous customers for Mount Pleasant, coming up trump for them here.
Yeah, and I think it's Neil that's in the box injured at the moment, as he tried to recover after seeing Hall slide behind him and get away with a goal. So for the second Mount Pleasant goal, Chambers in goal for Harbourview, gets a hand on but can't stop the ball from hitting the net.
Yeah, I think just because it was so much that Hall could have done, he was trying to anticipate, but Hall in the end made it count.
Yeah.
Beautiful ball over the top.
He's had some important goals for this Mount Pleasant team, Keston Hall. Among his most important strikes, you would have to say, scoring the opening goal in the 2018 playoff against Barbican that qualified them for the Premier League 2018-2019. That summer fixture played at the Barbican Field on East Kings House Road. Went into extra time after Keston Hall had given Mount Pleasant a goal in normal time, and it set them up for the win that qualified them, along with Dunbeholden, for the 2018-2019 Premier League for the first time playing Premier League football, Mount Pleasant, and Keston Hall scoring one of the goals that got them there.
Yeah, so he's really been prolific this season. But like I said, it's just basic stuff that you felt Neil didn't do well. You cannot be advancing with no pressure on the ball.
Russell again caught into a tangle here with McCullough. Fouls McCullough. Free kick to Mount Pleasant, and this has been a very, very prominent script in this story. This Russell-McCullough battle. It started from the opening whistle. And McCullough would know how dangerous Russell is. Russell was a part of the Arnett Gardens team that won the championship 2016-2017. Harbourview making another change. Sean Daly's now on for Gerald Neal, so Neal got himself injured trying to recover to prevent that goal that Keston Hall scored, and Neal is now off. So Mount Pleasant leading here by 2-0, but because this is a two-leg match or two-leg fixture, Harbourview will consider themselves still not out of the reckoning.
No, you feel just to pull a goal back in it would really get them into the contest again, and if you go into the second leg with a goal down, and that's not bad. I think Kosachong has been on the receiving end of a lot of firm, hard, robust challenge, and I think, yeah, he did get a lot of him there.
Yeah.
And Isaac,
yeah, the studs just above the ankle.
It was a raking challenge there.
Tevin Scott, who's just on there for Harbourview, has already scored this season, Tevin Scott, and just didn't have enough room there just now to free himself.
I think what we've seen here from Harbourview, they may be looking to switch to 3 at the back with Neil out, Priestley along with Palmer and Stapler.
There's a Mount Pleasant man warming up on the sideline as well.
Looks like a 3-2-3-1 system here by Harbourview.
The Hall is breaking free again, is he? Good recover challenge there from Lavelle Palmer.
Yeah,
does really well.
He has done well so far with his recoveries.
Good skill there from Daly to Stewart. Sean Daly trying to slide the ball forward there for Russell. Mount Pleasant's defenders efficient. So could Mount Pleasant be finding their best form at the right time? As we said, their 5-2 win over Dunbeholden shot them into the playoffs as the most dominant final day team of the regular season.
It's the right time to be coming into form.
Corner for Harbourview. Daly heads on here. Scott puts the chase on. Scott with possession, gets away from his man, Scott. news for Gerald Neal isn't good. He's on his way to the hospital. We understand he has a dislocated shoulder, so Gerald Neal substituted here in the second half for Harbourview. Daly gets the ball across to Tevin Scott on the left side. Scott, calm, Chung gives Daly some work there, slides the ball across. Oh, that's a fine strike there from Staple, and goalkeeper Clark tips this one over. So if you thought that Harbourview were down and out, some illustrations there from their camp. They have the heart to keep the fight going.
That was a good pass from Daly down the channel there, and Staple just run onto it, didn't check his stride, and just struck it well with that right foot, and Clark had to get a fingertip to it.
Russell tries to retrieve this one before it goes out. Hasn't done so.
That one looks very close. Didn't appear as if all the ball went over the line.
I've not seen that much resistance from him for the call, so maybe it just did. Liston James.
Stewart down, it seemed to be with cramps. Put in a lot of shift in the middle of the park, Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart has been very busy for Harbourview in this fixture so far. Has had a fairly decent game, Garth Stewart. Only 20 years old, so many of these Harbourview players are young, promising players. Harbourview, one of the teams with this model of developing young, talented players and offering them to the overseas market. And as such, the Harbourview team always looks different season after season. There's Sean Fraser himself had some overseas professional stints as well. Played in Mexico and El Salvador, Sean Fraser. Priestley for Harbourview at the top of the Mount Pleasant half. Good pass to Russell. Russell under pressure here from McCullough. One of the few times that he fends off McCullough. But there goes Daly. Chung. Not sure if that pass was intended for Chung. I think he was going for Odell and Harding on the left. Bottom of the screen, Stewart makes his way back onto the field. So Harbourview back up to 10 men, back up to 11 men.
I think Mount Pleasant may be looking to just hit on the counter from here on in with this 2-goal cushion. Harbourview looking with their change of shape with 3 at the back and 4 or 5 players attacking each time.
Daly leaps really high into the air just now to get the header onto that one, and it was a vital header. Liston James's clearance upfield, heading for Campbell, who was a little nonchalant there and trying to receive the ball and didn't keep it. Palmer. Daly. McCullough claiming innocence. He's really given Russell a hard time today. Palmer's long ball finds Chung. Chung is crossing well. McCullough gets the header. Stewart, though, gives Staple a bit of a chase toward the corner flag. Jordan Fletcher puts pressure on.
And they always say 2-0 leads are always very dangerous because you think you're well comfortable, but there's just 1 goal in it for the opponent. They get that, and then it's nervous times again.
Green for Mount Pleasant. Comes over from the challenge. Free kick to Mount Pleasant. High inside the Harbourview half on the left side.
You see Green there, I think he was the provider for the second goal for Hall. Played that nice pass over the top. Had a few assists so far already this season. Very good player. Of which half of you should have known.
Free kick to Mount Pleasant. Kevin Lane, long. Staple goes along himself, looking for Scott. Lane gets the header, and his captain Richie gets the clearance. Isaac stumbles over on the challenge. Referee Dwyer awards the free kick to Mount Pleasant in the centre circle.
I think Mount Pleasant is doing very well to just, you know, disrupt the flow for Harbourview. You know, every now and then, you know, this game has been punctuated in the last few minutes with stoppages, free kicks. Just not to be able to build up a consistent run of pressure. This Harbourview team.
Pretty decent run at the moment. This Mount Pleasant team have lost just one in 7 games since Wally Downs took over from Teagat Davis as the coach. 4 wins, 1 defeat, 2 drawn results under Downs's guidance. Here comes Campbell once again. Can he get the strike off? Had an opportunity to strike with the left foot there, but appeared to be setting it up for a right-footed effort. In the meantime, he has fallen on the D, and he looks to be in some discomfort at the moment. Not sure if he twisted his ankle on that play. Liston James allows the ball to run over the touchline to allow the medical team to come and have a look at their goal scorer, or their first goal scorer, because there have been 2. Keston Hall and Devante Campbell. Campbell down with cramps, it seems.
Yeah, I think it's more like cramp, and it would have been interesting to see whether or not the play would have allowed to continue, because it seems like it did come off his hand at one point.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Leonard Rankin is about to come on. Rankin, previously of Sanders FC and Cavalier. A holding midfielder with quality, and based on the position that the game is now at, where Mount Pleasant are leading by 2-0 at the water break, maybe Rankin, with his competent holding midfield qualities, can just be the man here to tighten things up and manage this game for Mount Pleasant to the end.
Yeah, Isaac has been playing inside of that position and has been doing well. So in the water breaker, I think Keslan Hall will be the player coming out, as Coach Downs looked to just keep what he has, and probably has 2 holding midfielders to protect that back line that really, you wonder if they really need protecting. Haven't been since the early part of the game. Have really seen a lot of things happening in front of them. However, unable to turn them around enough in the game, and as such has been easy for them with what has gone on in front of them all game long. So Coach Downs just looking to keep what he has.
Yeah, so there's the first goal scorer, Devonte Campbell, picking up a pass down the left side from this man, Kevon Isaac, showing patience. Doesn't like his passing options here, so he waits. The 17-year-old breaks down the left side. Doesn't see favourable passes inside, so he rifles the left-footed strike to the near post past Jafari Chambers and gives Mount Pleasant the lead.
And this was a poor giveaway from Harbourview from the throw-in.
Yeah, they would extend the lead here with Green sending the ball forward. Keston Hall finding himself behind the defence, and Jared Neal, in his valiant effort to recover to prevent the goal, hurt himself, dislocated his shoulder, and he's off to the hospital, as Keston Hall, after scoring Mount Pleasant's second goal, is now on the bench, replaced by this man, Leonard Rankin, who is in the holding midfield position. So a forward replaced by a holding midfielder. I think Wally Downs' plan is clear.
Yeah, we did ask him what would be a favourable result going into the next leg, and he spoke about a lead, but A good lead of 2 goals would be good.
Wow, cross inside Richie, trying to get to it there, but didn't quite get a boot onto it. Maybe luckily for him, because that could easily have deflected into his own goal.
Yeah, had he gotten more on that one, you felt Clark would have had some work to do. And one of them could have been to pick that ball out the back of the net.
Yeah, this man has been injury prone for the past couple of years. Ladale Ritchie, the Mount Pleasant captain. Yeah, Campbell tumbles over from the challenge from behind. And he must be tiring now, Campbell, as he suffers from cramps as well. And the Harbourview men believe that this is a deliberate ploy from Mount Pleasant men to waste time. But the clock is stopped and the time will be added on, so sometimes when players, if they do decide to try to kill some time, or they have to be aware that the match officials are going to add the time back on. I think this is a genuine discomfort though, because a few minutes ago we saw him being attended to because of cramps, and Liston James just signaled to the bench there that he thinks that he should be replaced. Not that he has that call, but he was the closest man to young Campbell at the time, and maybe he's getting the sense that Campbell has nothing left in him.
Yeah, and a lot of times the players can give you a cue as a coach. They know what is out there. As you said, he was the closest to Campbell, and maybe Campbell had uttered some words to him as well. So maybe he's coming from an informed position. But you're right, the times will be added back.
Yeah, so there's Campbell, who scored in the 30th minute to give Mount Pleasant the 1-0 lead. And Keston Hall added in the second half to give Mount Pleasant a 2-0 advantage. There's Kimar Bushy-Beckford getting ready to get some playing time. Green puts the chase on Harding, keeping him honest. Green gets some support here from Rankin. James, back to Rankin, under some pressure Rankin. But does well and recovers and wins the ball back. Liston James has to hurry the pass back to Ladale Ritchie. Good passing here from Mount Pleasant, just passing their way out of trouble. Harbourview now defending stoutly and getting the ball out, but only as far as the Liston James.
We saw early in the first half when Mount Pleasant had up to 73% possession, and that won't be good for Harbourview here. They can't hurt them. Can't hurt Mount Pleasant if they don't have the ball. Pleasant doing very well here to control this game.
Yeah, new team, but since they came to top flight football for the 2018-2019 season, a lot has been done with acquiring experienced quality players to put on their roster. Delightful ball played here to Harvey. Chance here for Mount Pleasant to go further ahead. Oh, that's a fine strike from Jordan Fletcher. 3-0 to Mount Pleasant. And Jordan Fletcher strikes his 4th goal of the season and 3rd goal in 2 matches. So he celebrates early for his 24th birthday. He turns 24 Thursday. And Jordan Fletcher, on a September afternoon in his month, is in business for Mount Pleasant.
That was a good strike from Fletcher, and you could see the build-up. Harbourview was labouring to get back as Green, as he looked up there, just opened his body with that left foot, steered it into the far corner. Good ball played in by Green to Harvey. Once Harvey cut it back, a one-touch finish, and so many goals we see scored in the 18-yard box are with one-touch finishes. And that's the situation here. Looks very difficult now for Harbourview. They've made 2 changes. We see Russell and Daly exiting the park. Ziminic coming on. There's 1 player in their stead. Pleasant 2 have made changes.
Yeah, Russell is out. He's had a tough afternoon trying to contend with McCallum. Chong's first touch sets him away here from Liston. James across, threatening. No one on the far post. So Mount Pleasant now in full control here. We had said earlier that the 1-0 advantage and even the 2-0 advantage, Beckford is offside, would not be insurmountable because it's 2 legs. But at 3-0 now, it's beginning to look pretty dire for Harbourview.
Yeah, as we saw there, that Beckford came on for Campbell, first goal scorer. But yeah, you're right, Lance. It's really a huge mountain to climb. We're here at the foot of the Dallas Hill, but I think what Harbourview has to go over will be much higher than that. And we've not seen anything here. It's not their ability to probably score, which they haven't done so. They've only failed to score 1 time so far this season, Harbourview. So far they haven't scored here. But it's just their openness and the fact that they're very vulnerable, even more so when they're in transition.
Yeah, lots of determination there from Tariq Jimenez. 16-year-old Tyrese Williams is also on. Krista J. Daly has worked hard here for 70+ minutes, but now he's off. Chambers with ease of taking care of the Harbourview goal. Harbourview having a pretty deep roster. Tevin Scott shows real skill there. There goes Tyrese Williams on the flank. Richie takes easily on the near post. And now Mount Pleasant are in transition. Isaacs, Beckford.
Instruction from their coaches to keep the ball, keep possession of it. Just make Harbourview chase. They know they want to get a go-ahead goal, so they're going to chase and work hard. But the end result of that is that they're going to expound a lot of energy. And I feel, having done so already, it will be difficult for them to do so for the remaining 12 or so minutes of this contest.
This Mount Pleasant team now managing this game really well, just passing the ball around, conserving energy while at the same time keeping the ball away from the Harbourview men, which is an application that you can't fault. Beckford offside again. I think that's one of the weaknesses in his game. Beckford caught in offside positions quite frequently.
Yeah, always a lot. I've seen him earlier this season, and you're right on cue, Lance. A lot of offside calls for him.
Yeah, very well-travelled player. Good turn there from Sean Daly. Here comes Scott, who is very skillful. Yeah, held on to by Isaacs. Free kick to Harbourview. Oh, taken quickly. Whistle. Yeah, I think the call there against. That's Gary Mills, who is now on for Mount Pleasant. So Harbourview with a free kick, about 21 yards out or so, which could be very threatening. Maybe the man with the ball in his hand, Lovell Palmer, will want to strike this one.
Yeah, I think he's going to take responsibility as the senior man out there, the most experienced player out there. Chong has had his attempt already, that went over. Palmer, as we said, scored in their last game to ensure that they're here. And we want to bring it back to within 2 goals going into the second leg.
Yeah, very important moment here for Harbourview. Their playoff hopes could rest on this moment. Four-man wall set up by Mount Pleasant. Chong is there. But it's Chong wants it and takes it left-footed. I thought Palmer would have struck that one, but Chong took it. And for the second time, he has gone high with a free kick from a a threatening or promising position. In the meantime, Clark goes down again in goal for this Mount Pleasant team. I'm not sure if it's the hot boots issue again.
No, I think it's the finger. I think when he effected the save, I think from Staple, I did see him flashing that finger vigorously after making contact with that ball, and maybe just feeling the effects of that. Yeah, definitely thinks that's the case. Coach Downs just trying to ascertain whether or not he will be able to continue. Signaling whether it's a thumbs up or thumbs down. Again, difficult here for Harbourview. Plot a way back into this contest. But we know it's over 2 legs. We've seen things like this happen in football. It's a strange game, and that's why we love it so much. And that's why we will still play the second leg, because there's still an opportunity. Currently we don't see the way back, but we will try to our best to get back in it.
Yeah, there's enough football left to be played for Harbourview to know that they're not out of it. It's an uphill task for sure, and because Mount Pleasant strategically are in a position where they can manage the game to suit themselves, manage the second leg playoff to suit themselves, you have to favour Mount Pleasant at the moment, but we know how the game of football is. We've seen some epic Champions League matches in the past of the world's best teams, with teams reversing big leads in second leg matches and winning.
For sure.
Not the least of them, Barcelona. Scott with a strike on goal, deflection. Here comes Chong. What a goal! Oh, onto the post and behind. Oh, that must be agonizing for Chong. I thought it was going in, but it hit the post and went behind. A real crucial moment there for Harbourview. That strike, if it went in, would have lifted their spirits and hopes of continuing on to the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's where you want Chang to be getting on the football early in the game. We see him too deep, but that's where he wants to effect his thing, and that's where he wants to have one mind. And once it came across to him, it was only having one mind, and that was to go for goal, and yet it just looked as if it was going in. He almost called it for a goal there because so close it was, and the goalkeeper Clark rooted to the spot. It was a good strike from Chong.
Yeah, Clark couldn't move. He was beaten there. Staple, who has been solid at right full back for Harbourview all afternoon. Palmer. Priestley. Oh, his pass is cut off here. And there goes Green for Mount Pleasant. Still Green. Overruns the ball. Daly now has it for Harbourview. Similis goes wide to Scott. Now Staple. Mount Pleasant getting the ball off the playing area. We're on 83 minutes plus, so we're just over 6 minutes plus time to be added on for stoppages. And Mount Pleasant are in a handsome 3-0 advantage here. Chong dribbles towards goal, still Chong. Slides the ball across. There goes Harding, tumbles over in the box. Referee says
offside.
Offside call.
It did look that way initially when I saw it. I thought it was offside, so not surprised with it. Just at the initial pass, looked to have strayed just a bit offside, so I think the referee got that one right.
Yeah, so Mount Pleasant are on the verge of scoring their first win over Harbourview in Premier League football since February 2019. Occasion, Cardell Benbow and Devon Hodges had scored for the Mount Pleasant team to beat Harbourview 2-1, who got their goal from Alves. Mount Pleasant are on the verge here of completing what is looking like a handsome win in the first quarter-final playoff here. And it will give them 8 goals in 2 matches, having closed off the regular season last week with a 5-2 triumph, their highest ever scoring effort in the Premier League.
They're really on a good run of form, and also in this game, better the last one, you feel, with their defensive display.
Yeah.
Not conceding here.
5 clean sheets Mount Pleasant had in the regular season. Only Veer matched that. So defensively, this team has been solid.
Yeah, I think that's one of the feature. Once Coach Downs came into play, as we see Harvey there down, he has really worked on their defensive solidity. And as you mentioned there, Lance, as we see Harvey, he's getting a rake from his studs there. I suspect he'll be fine. He has had a decent game.
Yeah.
So too, Daniel Green.
Yeah, pretty difficult for the man of the match honor here for this fixture. I would suggest it would come from the Mount Pleasant roster. The goal scorers would have to be in the conversation, Keston Hall and Devonte Campbell. But you're right, Daniel Green has been solid. The defense line, solid. The way McCullough took care of Lennox Russell for the entire time that the 27-year-old was on the field was significant, because Russell can be an impact player.
And started out well, Russell did, but once he had the better of him 2 times, I think McCullough made the adjustment and had just Russell in his pocket all game.
Beckford trying to slide the ball through there to Green, not getting to him. And Harbourview now on the counter with Stewart. Goes to Chong. Chong with Liston. Jimenez with a strike. Blocked. And now Mills for Mount Pleasant. Tumbles over from the Tevin Scott challenge. Free kick to Mount Pleasant midway their own half.
I think Mount Pleasant will milk every opportunity they get with stoppages. So Pleasant looking to manage this game, close it out.
Green. Harding putting a lot of pressure here on Green, forcing Green to play the ball back. The referee awards a free kick here to Harbourview.
Since the opening play, apart from that shot from Akwasa Chung moments ago, we really have not looked like scoring. Just have not turned around this Mount Pleasant defense often enough. And we saw early signs where they had some good link-up plays, small triangles. They didn't create enough small triangles in and around that 18-yard box of Mount Pleasant and tried to play combination passes. Just was not sustained the way they started, Harbourview.
Harbourview pushing the ball around. Not in the threatening zone. They're only now getting into the threatening zone, but 9 Mount Pleasant players behind the ball. And snuff the opportunity out. Lovell Palmer. Stewart. Good pass from Williams. Here comes Daly. Jimenez. Good passing on the edge of the box here for Harbourview, but the Mount Pleasant defenders are tight and determined. Staple. Still Staple. Ball comes off. McCullough from behind for a corner, and McCullough goes down. I think he has cramps, and there's a second Mount Pleasant player down in the box as well. Yeah, 9 minutes. Oh no, that's not. A player is coming on, I think. I thought the card was saying 9 minutes added on. It was a little startling for me, but I think
the player that is down,
yeah,
McCullough.
Yeah, McCullough is. Yeah, he's writhing in pain. As soon as the ball came off him and went behind for a corner, I saw him limping a lot. But it's the number 9, Daniel Green, who is coming off.
He was there in the reckoning also for play of this game. He really, when he got on the ball, was always dangerous. Had an assist on the Caslan Hall goal. Ricketts comes on in his stead. Yeah. Sam Ricketts, so a defender is on.
Ball headed out. Beckford on the left side, waiting for support on the front end. Holds the ball up well, Beckford. Beckford has it. 5 minutes added on for stoppages. And Mount Pleasant are on the attack here through Kevon Isaacs. Sends the ball in. Beckford can't get a hold of the ball to go goalwards. And Harbourview give the ball away. Now Mount Pleasant has it through Ricketts. Now Mills under some pressure. A minute and a half of the 5 minutes added on for stoppages. Already expired. And Mount Pleasant now bossing the game with a 3-0 advantage. Jordan Fletcher, Kesslin Hall and Devante Campbell, the goal scorers for Mount Pleasant. 8 goals in 2 matches now, Mount Pleasant. And they're hot to trot in the playoffs.
Certainly have really put themselves in a very, very strong position to make the semi-finals. 3-goal lead here, and the evidence of things here. You don't see Harbourview overhauling it, but like I said, it's going to be another day, and another moment, another 90 minutes.
Yeah. If they make the semis here, the Mount Pleasant team, it will be the second time in 2 full seasons that they would have achieved that. And here they are, just playing around with the ball now and playing for time, because they know that at this stage, Harbourview can't wipe off a 3-goal deficit. And they are now coasting Mount Pleasant. Harbourview desperate to try to get on terms. And that was a shoulder clearance there from the captain, Ladale Ritchie. And Mount Pleasant playing with a lot of comfort at the moment. Ludlow Bernard, the coach of the Harbourview team, shown a red card just at the half-time interval. I'm not sure. What a strike from distance onto the post, and the rebound headed in. What a goal for Harbourview! 3-1 in stoppage time, and Harbourview have given themselves a lifeline here at the JFF Captain Burrell Centre of Excellence.
Yeah, that was a ferocious strike from Staple. I think he has been threatening all game long. I think he had effected an injury on Akil Clark earlier with a stinging shot, and he drove that one ferociously just now. I think Clark got a finger to it, but couldn't stop it hitting the underbar. And once it came out, it was a Harbourview man.
Tyrese Williams there with a goal on the rebound. Very, very alert. Very, very alert work there from Tyrese Williams. And Harbourview gives themselves a lifeline here. Tyrese Williams, another teenager in the Harbourview setup. And he really, really was alert there on the rebound. And a well-taken strike. What a strike that was from Staple.
That had a lot of power behind it. And boy, did he struck that well.
So we have less than 30 seconds remaining here in stoppage time. And Mount Pleasant are set to win this one by 3-1. Handball for Beckford. Free kick to Harbourview. So the deficit now only 2 goals. It gives Harbourview a little bit more encouragement heading into the second leg.
And also you feel with the game.
Oh, Chong gets himself into the box. Can Harbourview get a late one here again? What a fine save with the foot from Clark on the near post. And the whistle goes. That's the end of the game. Mount Pleasant winning by 3-1. And failing to get a 6th clean sheet. As Harbourview, with a late strike from Tyrese Williams, pulls one back and give themselves some encouragement for the second leg. The deficit now 3-1. There's our man of the match, Devonte Campbell. He was a man that set things going for Mount Pleasant in the first half, electrifying in the first half for Mount Pleasant, and it was his 30th minute goal that gave Mount Pleasant the platform to take control of this game. And the little teenager was brilliant this afternoon, especially in the first half. So 2 teenage goal scorers today. Tyrese Williams, the late strike for Harbourview, and Devonte Campbell in the 30th minute for Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant getting all the goals from Hall and Fletcher. 3 goals to 1, the scoreline in favour of Mount Pleasant.